Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It's the first time I've had my face on the channel in a while, but I decided to invite you on a walk with me around the property. So we're going to take a browse and see what's ready to be picked on the property. It'll give you a good glimpse as to what a permaculture setup can look like and what adopting some of my gardening techniques can do for you. Taking a walk around your property every afternoon can be very bountiful, picking cucumbers, hops, apples, and all sorts of stuff that we'll go through today. So join me and we'll have a great harvest today. All right, so the first place we're gonna stop is my apple tree. So I have 3 different varieties of apples on this tree, and one of the varieties is Granny Smith. So it can be a little bit tricky to tell when a Granny Smith apple's ready. Usually I kind of press on it, and if it's starting to get a little bit soft, I'll take the apple, I'll give it a twist, and it should pop right off. So we'll add that to the bucket, maybe a couple more just for safekeeping. 1, 2, and 3. And then we'll keep moving on to the next plants we can harvest. All right, so now we are over near one of the perennial raised beds. So I'm going to go to the back, harvest some leeks, harvest some chives from the middle, and then grab a few pieces of mint that are ready on this side of the raised bed. So the leeks, usually I'll just cut off near the bottom, leaving some of the base still attached. As for the chives, it's a very similar process. Since they're a lot thinner, you can usually get a clump of them. A lot of times I'll pull the flowers right off in the garden, just in case they have any seeds, they can reseed right away. We'll throw those in the bucket. And then I'm just gonna go through and sprig off a few little things of mint. We'll just use that as a garnish for a drink or something tonight, but it'll work great. Now we've arrived over near our American blackcurrant plants, and although the berries aren't ready yet, currant leaves are actually super nutrient dense and can be used in a tea. So maybe what I'll do with that mint and this currant is I'll kind of combine them together in a tea, steep that tonight. I think that'll be a really good idea. So we can just pluck a few of these leaves off to add to the tea, add some nutrients to it. Great little kind of wild edible that a lot of people don't know about. They know about the berries, but a lot of nutritious plants have many uses: the leaves, the berries, the stem, the root. So a lot of times it's great to learn about many parts of the plant. We'll move on now. All right, everybody, we've got a nice little harvest started so far. We are over near the rain garden area, and we've got a nice little summer squash kind of peeking out in here. So I'm gonna pluck this guy out before it gets too big. I usually don't like them when they get really big. They start to get, the texture gets a little bit unnice for me. I don't like a really squishy, fleshy texture that yellow squash can get when they get larger, but this size is about perfect for me. So we'll add it to the bucket and move on to the next one. All right, everybody, as I was passing by the hops, it looks like I missed a few during my last harvest. So I'll pick a few of these out, add it to the mint and currant leaf tea tonight. So mint, currant leaf, and hops. It'll be a really interesting little wild blend for a tea, but we're not gonna let these go to waste. Great little hops. I'll kind of look around, see if I can pick any more, but another great little harvest to add to the bucket for the day. Alrighty, we are finally back near the main annual garden, and I'm going to pick out a few pieces of rhubarb. I've taught people how to pick rhubarb before, but usually I always say go down as close as you can get to the base. You're gonna slightly twist and you're gonna pull out. You're gonna wanna feel kind of a pull at the base of that rhubarb. We'll get a real big one here. You almost hear a pop when it comes out. There it goes. You'll hear that pop, and you see that nice root piece right at the bottom. That's what you're looking for when you're harvesting rhubarb. I'll get one more nice piece of this, since this is starting to fill out pretty well and it needs to be harvested anyway. So we got 4 good pieces of rhubarb right there. We'll add that to the bucket and move on. All right, now we are over in the annual vegetable part of the garden. And there's a lot of things I could harvest in here, but I really have no use for tonight. The lemongrass is looking great, it's ready to go. There's plenty of dill ready to go, just like this volunteer dill here. We can pull them out, get them out of this herb patch because there's plenty of dill over there. But all that being said, I don't really need any of this for tonight, so it would just kind of be pulling it up to show you and to kind of flaunt the garden, and I'm not about that. I'm gonna use all those veggies for tonight, but just kind of giving you a good idea of how much stuff is ready to go. The Thai basil can all be picked. A lot of this basil can be picked. The tomatoes aren't ready yet, but we can kind of look through and see that there are some cucumbers that could come out if we wanted to pickle them. If we wanted larger size cucumbers, we might want to wait for a day or two, but we'll go through, we'll pick a couple of the cucumbers and we'll call it a good day. So here's a nice sized one, and here's another one. So we'll call that a day, bring this back over to our bucket, and we'll kind of reminisce through our bucket, see what kind of harvest we got from the day, and it'll kind of show you what you can expect from a permaculture and annual garden setup. So from our permaculture stuff, we got some onions, we got apples, we got chives, some mint, and some rhubarb. And then from our annual section, we already got a couple cucumbers and a nice summer squash. So this bucket could really make you a nice salad. I'm gonna make some teas and stuff like that out of it. Mess around with the fruits, maybe put them in wines or jams, we'll see. But that'll be all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed joining me on a walk around my garden and harvesting a lot of different great edible fruits and veggies. Hope you enjoy, and I hope this inspires you to start making a change on your property soon.